Tech for Senior, episode number 37, December 7th, 2020. Well, another week's gone by, and we are all back. Thank you, everyone, for coming and joining our show today. Now, I'm going to change the format a little bit. I usually spend some time introducing all our my co-hosts, but I'm not going to do that today because I have a video, an important announcement that I want to play for everybody. All right. So we're going to skip with that. Hi guys, we'll talk in a few minutes, but I want you to watch the video I have for you here with this important announcement. I'm being ambushed. I'm being ambushed. Hold on. I'm being ambushed by my friends. No one's actually shooting at me. But what I found out is Bob and Hewie are plotting against me. Yes, my co-hosts are plotting against me, but I found out. Let me tell you the story. The plot was this: let's get some technology that Ron doesn't have. And on Black Friday, the plot thickened. But I found out about it, and I want to show you my video. Guess who got caught? Yes, they got caught red-handed. Yes, Bob and Hewie got caught, and I want to show you exactly what I did about it. This is my new vacuum. They both bought cordless vacuums on Black Friday. They thought they would get a technology that I didn't have, but I now own a Roomba vacuum. And yes, the plot is over. You're not one up home. All right, so besides having some fun with my new vacuum cleaner, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about an affliction I have called stinkin' thinkin'. Now, I was talking to Bob this week about these vacuum cleaners, the Roomba vacuum cleaners, and Bob was telling me, you know, my attitude towards this is, why would anybody want to spend this much money on a device that is the same price as my German-built Miele vacuum cleaner, right? So my attitude has been all these years is, you know, and these have been out for probably about 20 years, is a bad attitude about these. Bob said, no, he's had lots of them and they work great. So here's my story. On my way to Costco last Wednesday to buy it, on Tuesday evening, I got a call from a friend of mine. His wife was wondering if I would come over and spend some time with him the next morning because she had a medical appointment at the hospital. Now, this is a longtime friend of mine who has severe Parkinson's disease. Well, in his house the next morning on my way to Costco to buy this vacuum cleaner, we were talking, and he had just moved into this new house and had been in about a year. And he was feeling a little bit down because one of the goals he wanted to do is he wanted to do the vacuuming. He can't do very much, but he did want to do the vacuuming. But he's so disabled now, he said, to do 3 rooms takes him about a whole day to do it. Now you can see the light bulb turning in my head. I'm going to buy this vacuum cleaner that you just push a button on your phone and it starts vacuuming your house. This is a great opportunity for technology to be used for seniors to help them live better in their homes. So I got thinking about this, went off to buy the device. I brought it home and it works great. And the point that I'm making here is I have some stinking thinking. It's the same old thinking yields the same old results. I think this is a great device. I think it's perfectly suited for seniors, and it can help them stay in their home because a lot of people have problems with mobility. Could be either mobility, it could be some dementia, or it could be vision problems, all hinder a basic function such as vacuuming, and this is a perfect technology for seniors to use. So I can tell you in the future, I'm sure Bob and Hewie and I will be talking lots about vacuuming technology. So I don't want you to get caught up in stinking thinking. You know, each week I give presentations to 2 or 3 computer clubs across the country. At the end of my presentation, I often ask them, do you have an Alexa or Google device? And most often I get this blank stare and nobody has any of these devices. I have a challenge to everyone today. If you don't have one of these devices, I would strongly encourage you to go and buy one. They're only about $20, $20 to $30. Buy one. Even if you can't, even if you have stinking thinking like I did, purchase one and try it out. Think about how you could use this in your home to make sure you have a safer environment. This year, there are many new applications coming out for seniors for these devices. In fact, I'm doing some training this week on a new product that I'll be talking to you about in the following weeks. So this year, we're going to talk a lot about using Internet of Things devices such as the Amazon and Google devices to make sure that you can stay in your home longer and be safer. All right, let's get on with the show. All right, Bob, you're up.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending December 4th, 2020. Cyber police claim double win, arrests in 50,000 victim hacks, and 48 million in credit card theft prevented. 2 sizable victories in the world of cybersecurity recently. 3 individuals in Nigeria were arrested for allegedly breaching as many as 50,000 companies and government entities, while a 3-month operation saved 48 million in credit card theft. Interpol worked closely with Nigerian police to track down the cybercrime group dubbed TMT, which infected the networks of companies across 150 countries. Europol's operation, led by police in Italy and Hungary, led to a collection of 90,000 pieces of stolen credit card data. They then worked with banks to prevent fraudulent transactions from occurring. More information on Forbes. The Supreme Court hears a case based on a 1986 hacking law. A 34-year-old hacking law called the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act sits at the center of a U.S. Supreme Court hearing where the defense insists the law was too vaguely written. Nathan Van Buren, a former Georgia police officer, is on trial for allegedly accepting payment to search for a license plate in the police database, which violates the CFAA. Van Buren's attorney argued to the Supreme Court that the law's wording is so broad that it construes many innocuous actions as illegal, such as using a work Zoom account for personal reasons, using a work device to check social media, and lying about one's height on a dating website. In this case, and probably in most cases related to technology, it is important to review and update the laws, commented Avast security evangelist Louis Corones. Nobody in 1986 knew how computers and our relationship with the world evolved over the next 30 years. The Supreme Court has until June 2021 to issue a ruling on the case. Researcher devises no-click iPhone hack. A white hat hacker from Google's Project Zero stunned the IT world earlier this week when he published a blog post detailing an exploit that would allow hackers to gain remote access to an entire device without any required clicking or accepting from the user. Researchers Ian Beer says he spent 6 months devising the exploit, which sends a malicious Wi-Fi packet that takes advantage of a memory corruption bug in the iOS kernel. He was inspired, he said, by the iPhone AirDrop functions. As we all pour more of our souls into these devices, an attacker can gain a treasure trove of information on an unsuspecting target, Beer cautioned in his post. The vulnerability has already been patched by Apple. Google adds end-to-end encryption to Android messaging app. Last week, Google announced that it would be rolling out a beta version of its Android messaging app that now features end-to-end encryption using the Signal protocol. The new encryption standard, Signal has its own app, but the Signal protocol has been adopted by a host of others, receiving endorsements about its unparalleled security and privacy from the likes of Edward Snowden and WhatsApp founder Brian Acton. Some point to its perfect forward secrecy as the protocol's standout feature. To learn more about Signal encryption, see the article on Wired. Facebook and Google get backlash for Vietnam censorship. Amnesty International has accused tech giant Facebook and Google of far-reaching complicity by blocking posts that criticize the Vietnam government. These platforms have become hunting grounds for censors, military cyber troops, and state-sponsored trolls. The platforms themselves are not merely letting it happen, they're increasingly complicit, said an Amnesty spokesperson. Since April, instances of Facebook restricting content in Vietnam has gone up by 983%. The Vietnamese government also requested that Google remove over 3,000 YouTube videos. More on BBC. A remote access Trojan found in NPM ecosystem. Researchers have discovered malicious files trying to camouflage as a database package in the NPM environment. As NPM is an open ecosystem, users can upload new packages that have not been screened. The malicious files were labeled jb.js and db/json.js, and if downloaded, they release a remote access Trojan, RAT, into the victim's computer, which gave hackers full access to the system. Learn more at Bleeping Computer. And that wraps up the Avast security news for this week. Stay safe. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks a lot. Hopefully my vacuum cleaner's secure, eh?
That depends.
All right, our next up is going to be Chris Wrzenski. I asked Chris and I do a Chromebook, do the Chromebook SIG at our at Mesa in our resort, and he just bought a an Acer Spin 713, which was the Chromebook of the year. And I asked him to do a 5-minute little talk on his experience with it. It's a new machine that he just got. And Chris, do you want to give us your little short 5-minute dissertation?
Give me the 4-minute warning. Here goes. Not everybody may be familiar with a Chromebook. It's not a replacement for a notebook computer, really. It's completely self-contained. It works best without a mouse. It has a really good trackpad. This is just about all Chromebooks. The Chromebook is a portable device with AI and search capabilities, saves everything for you. You don't have to push the button to save stuff. It's safe from most malware and viruses because the programs and apps do not get down into the operating system. It's used mostly for people for communications, email, searching, but it does do spreadsheets and the whole gamut of similar things to Microsoft Office. It's basically a big phone and a keyboard. Now, I look at it as a very portable device. You don't have to be tied to your computer station, and you'll be grabbing it and going to anywhere outside on your picnic table, on your patio, which brings up some of the good points of the Spin 13. So I bought an Acer Spin 13. I absolutely love it. It has been on sale for $549, but now it's $629 at Best Buy. The Acer site has it for $999. Amazon still got it for in the $800 region, and it's actually compatible in price with a 1980 Commodore VIC-20 in today's money, because that was new, $299, and $299 in 1980 equals about the price you can buy this for. I found that pretty interesting. So the 713, I'll refer to it as 713, is fast, has a high resolution, sharp screen, a wider screen than any computer I've seen so far, and brighter than any other Chromebook that I've seen. Let's take a look at the specs and see what that means. The build quality is aluminum top and bottom and plastic around the keyboard. It's mil spec. It survives a drop of 4 feet and withstands 130-pound force. There are full 360 hinges for a tablet mode and tent mode, and there's a 1-finger lift, and it weighs 3.2 pounds. It has very narrow bezels. Are you hearing me okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
keep going.
That's okay. Okay. The screen, this is the important part. The screen has a 3:2 aspect ratio, and it's not the normal 16:9 flattened screen. The resolution is very high. It's 2256 by 1500, and it's far better than the 1080p. Now here's the big one. The vertical height on the screen, because it's in a 3:2 ratio, gives you the same amount of screen as a 15-inch screen, but it's in a 13-inch case. So that makes it very portable. Here's another one. The brightness is 450 nits. Probably got one of the brightest screens in the business. And you can read it outside in the sun. There's a fan in it. It's very quiet, and the only time you hear it's when you turn it on. And I've never heard it since. And I've had 15 tabs open and videos going. The keyboard is good, really good. It has good click and key travel. Feels good, wider. It's wider key spacing than normal Chromebooks. I'm not sure exactly how. The trackpad, this is the real nice part. The trackpad is Corning Gorilla Glass, and it's smooth and it resists oil. It's so smooth, you think you're putting your finger on a piece of ice at a pond and water's on it and moving around. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, talk about the ports. A lot of Chromebooks only have a C port. This one has 2 USB-C ports, 1 USB-A port, a headphone jack, a micro SD slot, HDMI is full-size HDMI, and 5 Bluetooth 5 and Wi-Fi 6. The speakers are not much to crow about. The volume is okay in a quiet room. There's little bass, but who listens to a movie on the Chromebook anyway? You send it up to your TV by screen sharing. The processor, it's 10th generation Core i5, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 SSD, NVMe expandable fast storage, 15 plus. I've had 15 tabs open, and the video runs no problem. The battery life is 10 to 12 hours. So it's a really portable machine. You just pick it up in the beginning of the day and use it wherever you want to use it. It has VSI stylus capable, but there's no internal storage for that stylus. With a high res and bright screen, you can use a smaller screen than you would think you can use, because the contrast density is so much better. I'm used to bigger screens, but I have an eye problem where my eyes water, and since I bought this thing, I've had no problem with my eyes at all. If you want to get a good review of most any Chromebook, I strongly suggest going to chromeunboxed.com, and they're good, reliable reviews. I guess that's it. I hope I made my 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. That's great. Thanks a lot. Now, while I'm still sharing my screen, Dewey segment I'm going to be playing. We'll just play. We'll go into Dewey segment now. Let's.
Good morning, TFSers. This is Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is streaming and cord cutting. Streaming and cord cutting. Am I hearing groans out there? Well, is Dewey really going to bore us with stuff we already know about? Well, it's not my intent. What I really hope to present is a global view so that it will be easier for you to explain streaming and cord cutting to your friends and family. Did I hear someone out there say that sounds like finessing? Well, maybe it is. Anyway, what is TV streaming? Streaming is simply using the internet to provide both live and pre-recorded TV that allows you to watch what you want to watch whenever you want to watch it. Streamers may choose free content only or may subscribe to whatever paid content they'd like to have that will fulfill their needs and wants in areas like news, sports, entertainment, and so forth. So what is a cord cutter? Now, that's a person who cancels their cable or satellite subscription and instead uses an internet-based service or wireless phone service for their TV. The cost of streaming TV can range from free to beyond ridiculous, depending on the content chosen. Also, networks like ESPN, MSNBC, Fox News, and so forth do require a subscription, and you need to know that they're almost never free. Is anything free for cord cutters? Well, shopping channels are typically free. In fact, they usually pay to be carried. For non-subscription movie channels like YouTube and also many others, your only cost is watching a few commercials. A big part of my advice on streaming TV is to remember that there is a tremendous extra value of totally free OTA TV. Now that's over the air and, like antenna TV for those who are able to have and use an antenna. What about 5G home internet? Now, some of you think about 5G as only the phone, but 5G home internet will also eventually be available to many homes with blazing speeds, I might add. In fact, Verizon 5G Home is now available in limited areas of Sacramento, Los Angeles, Houston, and Indianapolis. Verizon has planned a 5G Home rollout in 20 more cities before this year of 2020 ends. Now, how about internet for those who live far away from large cities? Because you aren't going to see, 5G home internet very soon. In October, Verizon expanded its unlimited 4G LTE home internet service to rural areas in 48 states. Now, it offers a 25 megabit per second download speed with no data caps on up to 2 devices at a time. And the cost isn't bad. It's $40 a month if you're a Verizon subscriber and $60 a month if you're not. T-Mobile also offers a home internet service, but with a smaller footprint area-wise. They're still working on it. What's the difference between streaming services and streaming players? This is something you really got to need to know when you're explaining it to your friends and relatives. It can be understood to include both multi-channel services like YouTube TV, Hulu Live TV, which offer many channels, or perhaps movie services like Netflix, HBO, and so forth that offer tons of movies. What about streaming players and streaming devices? For all practical purposes, there are 4 streaming players out there and perhaps 5 popular streaming services. There are a few more, but 5 main ones. The streaming players are Fire TV devices, Roku devices, Apple TV, that's great, and the new Chromecast with remote control. Streaming devices will include Roku TVs, iOS and Android phones, and their respective tablets, Also PlayStation 4 and Xbox. So those are the streaming devices. What about smart TVs? Everybody, I got to get a smart TV, that I don't need to get a Roku or a Fire TV. Smart TVs are those which are able to connect to the internet. It is really a huge subject because there are just so many variations, but it boils down to this. If you're shopping for a TV and you buy a good quality TV, it will almost certainly be a smart TV. Also, many agree that simply adding a streaming device like Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and so forth to a smart TV will indeed make it even smarter, plus easier and more enjoyable to use. Trust me on that one. I'd like to close out this presentation with another shout out for high quality antenna TV, mainly because it's really high quality and has so many offerings. And it's the best way to receive all the regular broadcast channels, and they're often very good to excellent sub-channels. Now, some of you say, well, what about Lowcast? Lowcast has a streaming service for over-the-air TV channels. My opinion regarding Lowcast, that while it's expected to improve in the future, it's not really ready for prime time. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today, and I'm sticking with it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dewey. Now we're going to move on into my segment here, and I've got a little video to play for you now, and this is, you'll see.
This is a video on can you make money with YouTube. This is a brief overview of how it is possible to make money on YouTube. There are many videos produced on courses on how to create your online business on YouTube. These courses can range from several $100s to, in fact, I've seen some up to $10,000. This is not such a course. It's just a brief review of how you could make money on YouTube. So let's have a look at this. There are basically three ways to make money on YouTube. One is through ad revenue, the second is through Patreon sponsorship, and the third is selling personal merchandise and services. YouTube grossed $24 billion in the last quarter. Now, the money is made solely on advertising. And I want you to remember that Google is the most commonly used search engine, but YouTube is the second most common. They have roughly 7 billion videos per day. The average length of a video is about 11 minutes, and they have about 500 million watched per day. So it's big business. Advertising on YouTube is big business and their sole source of income for YouTube. We'll talk a lot about ads in a minute, but this is how they work. In this slide, this shows you that the creators create content. There are users, people watching it, and advertisers. YouTube puts these together and allow creators to have advertising so that the users, which would be seen by the users. So everybody that has a Google account can have a YouTube channel. You just have to turn the channel on and you will have a YouTube channel, but not everybody with a YouTube channel can apply to have ads put into their videos. To do that, you have to become a partner with Google and enter into their partnership program. Now, I'm going to sort of rephrase this a little bit. The partnership program really isn't a partnership. What you're going to do is you're going to sign a contract with Google. The contract is really a one-way contract in which you really have no ability to change or dispute, and it can be taken away from you at any time. There are some very stiff rules that you have to abide by, or you get into big trouble. So it's not really a partnership. It's you're going to work for Google. Now, what are the requirements and rules to have your site monetized? Well, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 watched hours from the previous year. Now, this is a lot of subscribers, and it usually takes people working on their channel about 2 or 3 years to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours. So not everyone has the ability to do this, but this is how this is a requirement that you have to have before Google will allow you to have ads on your or have paid ads on your site. All right, let me give you an example on how this would work with my apple pie story. Now, let's say you have a new YouTube channel, you've never made a YouTube video before. The first thing is you have the best apple pie recipe in the world. Let's say you truly do have the best apple pie recipe. Let's say you make the best video on how to make your apple pie. And you now upload this video to your YouTube channel. You ask your wife to have a look at it and tell you how the video looks, and she does. She logs on and looks at it and tells you it's a great video. So here's the question. You ask your wife to look at the video, and after 2 weeks, how many videos on YouTube do you have? You can think about that now. It's a question. The answer is 1, because nobody's found your video except your wife, who of course saw it. The next thing that happens is you email 20 of your friends. You say, hey, I made this great video. Please watch it. How many views would you have after 2 weeks? What's the answer? The answer is, well, less than 20, maybe about 10. Now you've had it up there, you have the best apple pie and the best video, and no one's seen it. All right, now you go onto your social media, you go to Facebook, and you have 2,000 Facebook friends, whatever you want to call them, and you say to those 2,000 people, please look at my great apple pie video. I have the great apples pie in the world. And when you do that, I want you to click like and subscribe to my channel. Please, please, please do that. All right. Now the question is, how many views would you have in another 2 weeks? Watch the answer now. Well, the answer would be less than 2,000, but all have subscribed and like. Okay, of course, you're using social media now to get more people to come to your site. All right, you wait a further 2 weeks. How many views would you have? Let's have a look. Millions. Why? Well, because what happens is when all your friends went over and in a short time subscribed and liked, the Google algorithm that watches all the YouTube videos took note. And all that is a very high number of people to subscribe and like. So the search ranking all of a sudden went up to the top. So when people were searching on the internet or on YouTube for apple pie, you would come up as one of the first. And then they would share that, because remember, you have the best apple pie in the world, and they would share that. And that's how you get your videos promoted on YouTube. All right, let's look at the second way you can make money, and this is through Patreon support. Patreon is a company that was formed in 2013 by Jack Conte and Sam Yam. And Patreon will send out about $500 million to their memberships in 2019. So what happens with Patreon is Patreon is a company. And it collects money and gives it back to the content creators. All right. way of you supporting the content creators. And I'm going to give you two examples of this. I'm sure you all know Steve Dotto from Dotto Tech. Steve Dotto has been around for a long time and has had one of the more successful YouTube channels on internet. He works very hard and has a professional staff. Steve has about 1,000 Patreon supporters paying him about $10 a month. This adds to about $10,000 a month that he has revenue from Patreon support. I am a Patreon supporter because I believe in his high quality webinar Wednesdays. I watch them every week and learn a lot from them. So I support his channel because I believe in what he's doing. He does have a staff of 4 and a lot of equipment to manage. But this is how he funds his channel. He probably makes some money from ad revenue, but primarily his support for this service is through Patreon support. The next was Project Atticus, and we talked about that last week. Project Atticus is Desiree and Jordan traveling around the world, and they are producing high quality videos to send back about their travels. Again, this is costly. They have drones, they have a lot of expensive camera equipment, so they have Patreon support. There's a little different. They charge per video, all right? And they make, and so you can pay per video, but you can limit it to 2 videos a month. So I probably pay around $10 a month to support their channel and what they're doing. I'm a sailor. I've done a lot of sailing in my life, and they're doing some really cool stuff, and I'd like to support them. And Patreon support is an easy way that you can do it to support their channel. Now, the last way is, of course, selling merchandise and personal services. An example of this might be how to make or edit a video. You could, or a website, you could put up and do a seminar on that, and at the bottom of the description, you could consult me for personal video making or website consulting. So you can use that to promote your own services, and that's the third way that you can make money. In summary, there's 3 ways to make money. There's ad revenue, there's Patreon sponsorship, and there's selling your merchandise or personal services. If you like the video, click the like and please subscribe. Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors.
All right, Hewie, you're up.
All righty. Get my mouse back here on the right screen. Now, there's a little story before I start this. Ron changed my topic on me, and I finished it like 2 minutes before the meeting. However, it's what you're going to see is not my complete video. I haven't finished it yet. It does say that I will share the link to it. It'll be finished later today and it'll be up on my channel. But you're going to see about 10 minutes of what's going to be about a 20-minute video. And I'm going to spend some of your money for you because you're going to find some things you might like. So let me go here and start it. Hot techie stuff for 2020. I'm Hewie POPLOCK. Last week, if you remember, I talked about some tech gifts for kids. Well, now we're going to look at stuff for the big kids, us. Do want to thank makeuseof.com for the information that got me interested in doing this presentation. Also, the presentation today is limited to about 10 minutes. The full recording will be available on my YouTube channel, and I will give you the address at the end of my presentation. In the early days of the internet, you had to use a specific device to access the web. The technology was new and expensive, and the internet access was slow and required you to log in. Today, it's common to leave your Wi-Fi network on all day, and most of your devices connected to the internet. As the connection is stable and the cost of wireless technology and sensors
has reduced, it's possible to add internet connectivity to a whole range of products. From household items like TVs, washing machines, and speakers to gadgets like smart home security cameras and pet trackers, there are more items connected to the internet than ever before. This expansion of connectivity from computers to all electronics has been termed the Internet of Things, or IoT. Generally, you will be aware of the products you connect to your Wi-Fi network. However, it's easy to forget devices like, say, your printer. Similarly, there is a possibility that you are unaware of how many devices are connected, potentially allowing an unauthorized person onto your network. You can check how many devices are connected by logging onto your router through a web browser. Similarly, you could use a smartphone app like Thing to analyze your network connections. Here is my Thing box and I use the software Thing. Here's an example of the reports that I get from my Thing box. Here is a short list of the items that are currently live on my network. And here's a group of items that currently are not in use, but are listed by Thing. So consider treating yourself or a techie loved one with at least one of the following gift ideas, some of which can be considered IoT devices. Here are the items that we're going to cover today. And what we don't get to in the Tech for Seniors section will be available again, as I mentioned, on my channel. First, we're going to start with the Olaf Osigo. Over the past few decades, there's been a heavy emphasis on the dangers of drink and driving. However, many people still underestimate their impairment before getting behind the wheel. As a result, they could be breaking the law and cause a collision, injuring themselves and others. The Olaf Osigo makes breathalyzers available to everyone. Here's what it looks like and the app. The unit measures your blood alcohol concentration, your BAC, using infrared sensors. The results of each test are displayed on the Osigo's built-in OLED screen. In this on-device mode, the monitor should be able to perform up to 75 tests before a recharge. However, you can also switch the Osigo into connected mode and sync your test data to the companion smartphone app. In the US, legal limits change depending upon which state you're in, and the Osigo will automatically adjust limits based on your location. You shouldn't only rely on the measurements when determining suitability to drive. The Osigo Mobile Breathalyzer Accuracy Rechargeable Wireless Connectivity Breath Alcohol Tester to Apple iPhone, Google, and Samsung Android devices sells for $299.99 and does include free shipping. The Bose Frames Soprano. These are open ear audio sunglasses, so the headphones sit on top of your ear rather than inside the ear canal. This means that you can still hear what's going on around you and enjoy your music simultaneously. You don't have to be too close to your phone either, as the Bose frames have a 30-foot range. The battery lasts up to 5.5 hours and can recharge in a single hour. There's even built-in mic for wireless phone calls and interacting with your favored digital assistant. The Bose Frames Soprano cat eye polarized Bluetooth audio sunglasses sell for $249. And you can replace the glass with prescription sunglasses. The Sapolo One. The Sapolo One Smart Tracker attaches to your keys, bag, or other portable belongings and can help you keep track of your valuables. The tracker connects to your phone via Bluetooth. The smartphone app allows you to trigger an alert on the one while in Bluetooth range so you can quickly hunt out your belongings. However, should you leave them behind and break the connection, marking your items as lost in the Chipolo app enables other Chipolo users to automatically record the lost tracker's location as they pass by. As a result, you can efficiently reclaim your forgotten items. Powered by a CR2032 coin battery, Chipolo One has a battery life of up to 2 years. Chipolo One 2020 loudest water-resistant Bluetooth key finder sells for $24.90 plus $5 shipping. The Electro Pi Raspberry Pi Kit. The Raspberry Pi 4 is an affordable mini computer sold as a single board, although many companies repackage the board with accessories and add-ons. The Pi is designed with education and STEM use in mind, but it also makes an excellent testing and experimentation tool. Here's what it looks like. The kit comes housed inside a portable case that can be closed and locked away at any time. Similarly, it comes with the Raspberry Pi 4 Model B included. It is set up for projects with 19 different sensors and wiring all included in the package. Similarly, the software has 21 free lessons and tutorials bundled as standard. You can replace this operating system with any Raspberry Pi compatible OS whenever you'd like, however. The Electro Pi Raspberry Pi 4 3B plus 4B Kit Raspberry Pi Learning Programming Kit with sensors advanced version sells for $308. The Fin Plus. Optimize your water usage to get the most from your supply. The Fin Plus is a smart water assistant for your home that can detect leaks and monitor use. The unit measures the water pressure 240 times per second. If it detects a leak, you'll get an alert on your smartphone, and the Fin Plus will automatically shut off your supply to prevent flooding and damage to your home. To function, you just need to install it on your main water line and connect it to your Wi-Fi network. Fortunately, the device is also compatible with Alexa so that you can interact with the Fin Plus with a voice command to any enabled device. Here's what it will look like on your devices. The pros, the Alexa compatible, auto shut off in the event of a leak, and a view historic water usage app. There are some cons to it, however. It needs to be close to the router for a reliable connection. An AI-based system takes some time to learn typical water usage. The Fin Plus Smart Water Assistant plus Shutoff, professionally installed smart home water leak detector with automatic shutoff and water usage monitor. And it is compatible with the Amazon A. It's priced at $578.99. And that's it for the hot techie stuff for 2020. I'm Hewie POPLOCK.
I can feel my wallet swelling already.
And that's only 5 of the items, and I do have 12 items to talk about. And once I finish it, it'll be up on my channel, and Ron will include the link for the entire video, and you can find some other things to spend your money on after you've watched it.
Excellent. All right, Ray, my toe is tapping.
Well, do you want the music or the routers? Can we do both?
Well, we could probably do both. What do you think? We might be
Yeah, I
5
think we
minutes
can.
over.
Can you, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, did I not make you? Oh, I guess I didn't make you. Just let me make you co-host. Sorry, I forgot to do that.
That came in late, that's why, no problem.
Yeah, we can, but we could probably be 5 minutes over if you think. I think we do
Yeah,
both.
it won't be more than that for sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good morning, Tech for Seniors. Today we're going to talk a little bit about routers and Wi-Fi. And a saying I've been using for so many years, the constant with technology is it's always changing. So now let's talk a little bit about the new Wi-Fi naming standards. At the end of the 20th century was the beginning of Wi-Fi in the world of home computers. No longer did we need to use an Ethernet cable to connect to the internet. So the Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineers, that's a mouthful, they developed the first internationally recognized wireless LAN, local area network standard known as the IEEE 802.11. The early versions were called the 802.11a and the 802.11b, and then in subsequent years, newer, faster, improved routers were brought to market, and they had different letters at the end of those numbers, such as G, N, AC, and last year AX was added to the list. Now this really became a complicated issue for the general public to understand and be able to differentiate between these different versions. So a newer, easy naming convention for these Wi-Fi standards has been implemented. So as you can see from this chart, all the old technical naming conventions have been converted to an easy naming. And going back to the beginnings of Wi-Fi, we have Wi-Fi 1 and Wi-Fi 2, and then showing you the years that they came out. And the latest one, Wi-Fi 6, which was finalized in 2019, you can now purchase these routers. So what will Wi-Fi 6 do? Well, many things, but some of the more important ones, it'll deliver an improved experience to address device and application needs in a range of consumer as well as corporate or enterprise environments. So these include 35% more speed than what is possible with Wi-Fi 5. The signal strength will be improved, latency will be reduced, and the good news is these brand new routers will be backwards compatible with older Wi-Fi enabled devices. Now we all every year probably add in our homes new devices that want to tap onto our Wi-Fi connectivity. Well, Wi-Fi 6 provides support for over 75 devices simultaneously, so that should take care of almost anybody's needs. It'll also greatly improve the ability to stream 4K video as well as applications used in online gaming activities. And what the new Wi-Fi 6 and the new routers that have it are bringing to the table are the two bands that are available for Wi-Fi. There's the 2.4 gigahertz band that's been around from day one, and still works fine. It provides coverage at a longer range, but transmits data at slower speeds. Now the new 5 gigahertz band, while it provides the ability to transmit data at faster speeds, the coverage isn't as great. So why is that? Well, the range is lower in the 5 gigahertz band because higher frequencies cannot easily penetrate solid objects such as walls and floors. So to take advantage of the two bands, you need both a router with this feature, and your computer's network adapter needs to be able to recognize the 5 gigahertz band. So if you take a look in Device Manager, if your network wireless adapter shows letters like AC or ABGN or AGN, This means the computer has a 5 gigahertz network band capability that will show up as an available network in addition to the standard 2.4 gigahertz band. But if your computer does not have a 5 gigahertz band capability, don't worry. You can purchase a USB Wi-Fi adapter for this purpose on Amazon for about $15. The bottom line, when you have the two bands available to you, do some testing in the home with your computers, comparing the two bands and taking into consideration the testing by doing it at different distances from the router, all of this to see what works best for you. Okay, is it time to replace your router? If your current router is the Wi-Fi 4 version or earlier, I think now is the time to at least consider replacing it so you can take advantage of the improvements made in the last 6+ years. Just heat over time can damage connectivity. And then if you're going to purchase a new router, you have the opportunity to get one with dual bands. And also, maybe you want to consider a router modem combo if one is available for your type of setup. I've had a combo when I had DSL, and even now when I've switched over to a cable company, ISP, I insisted that I get a combination router modem. After all, it's only one item, one device you have to worry about. Also, if you're renting your router from your ISP, consider purchasing your own. I did that when I had to get a new router. Usually it takes less than a year to recover the cost by not paying monthly rental fees. But you want to make sure to contact your ISP to confirm what router brands and models will work on their system, and make sure that they have made any necessary changes on their end so your new router will work with your setup. Lots and lots of talk lately about mesh Wi-Fi systems. What are they? Well, mesh systems have become very popular as a method to address Wi-Fi dead spots in the home. So while Wi-Fi extenders perform as that name implies, by extending the Wi-Fi range, a mesh Wi-Fi system consists of 2 or more router-like devices that work together to blanket your home with a Wi-Fi signal. Mesh systems, when first introduced a couple of years ago, were expensive, but as competition has increased, they are now competitively priced, and systems like the Amazon Eero work with the Echo family of devices. The final cost will be determined by the size of your home and how many units you will need for complete coverage. Okay, folks, that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, and then let's see if I can bring up more up to my screen. No. Okay, there we go.
And good morning, Tech for Seniors. Well, today, first off, I want to show you my new shirt, Doo-Wop Daddy-O. Don't think they spelled Daddy-O correctly, but that's all right. I'm not complaining. So today and for the next 3 Mondays, I'm going to play Christmas music, being that's the season that we're in. And on the 4th Monday, I may even come up with a New Year's song. We'll see. But today, it's going to be focusing on the song called Christmas Baby, Please Come Home. This is by Darlene Love, and a song she performed many, many times on David Letterman's Late Show. In fact, it was performed so many times by David's own admission, it became a Christmas tradition. All right, Darlene Love, born in Los Angeles in 1941, and as a minister's daughter, she grew up listening to gospel music. And then in 1962, she started working with Phil Spector and was a member of 3 vocal groups, the Blossoms, the Crystals, and Bobby Sox and the Blue Jeans, as well as having a very successful solo career. Today's song, Christmas Baby Please Come Home, first appeared on the LP A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector in 1963. She left the music business in the 70s to raise a family. At this point in her life, she was working as a maid cleaning Beverly Hills homes. And while there, heard on the radio the song I'm going to play today. She took this as a sign to return to singing. And am I glad she did? So, notable achievements. If Darlene Love looks familiar, it may be because you recall seeing her in the 4 Lethal Weapon movies starring Mel Gibson, where she played Trish Murtaugh, the wife of Danny Glover's character. Darlene Love had performed her signature song, Christmas Baby Please Come Home, each year on David Letterman's late night shows from 1986 up to 2014. The only reason it stopped was because he retired. Letterman had stated more than once that the annual performance was his favorite part of Christmas. Today's technology gives us the word mashup, where video and audio editors can combine and synchronize instrumental and vocal tracks from 2 or more different performances. Here is the mashup of several appearances of Darlene Love on the David Letterman Show with, again, my favorite.
Well done, Ray. Well done. That's a great song.
That came through all right? Good.
Yeah, everything's great. I missed the David Letterman show. Darn it, anyway.
So do I.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, listen, that was a great show today. Thanks to everyone for coming. Again, of course, it's the top of the hour. We have to leave. Hewie, are you okay? You gonna be around next week?
I got stuff in the bag. I'm ready to go right now.
Are you gonna have my new vacuum cleaner in your top 10 things to buy, or what's going to be?
No, actually, I didn't. I ran it for the first time 2 days ago, and was really pleased with it. And now I've got to do the whole. We just did one room. Now I got to do the whole house.
Bob,
just don't forget the corners. Don't forget the corners. You have to pay special attention to corners.
Okay. Ray, thank you. Thanks again. You'll be around next week?
Absolutely.
All right. And Dewey, wave to us. And Joanne's there.
Yes.
How are you doing? And thanks a lot. And I guess the Silveridge internet did work, eh?
Right. It's
Yes.
20 megabit download.
There you go.
We miss you.
Right.
Well, I miss you guys too. Listen, and special thanks to Chris Wrzenski for giving us an update on the Chromebook of the year, the Acer Spin 713. So, 713. So we, anyway, we will see everybody back next week, same time, same place, same meeting ID, and we'll be back for another big show. So anyway, thanks again for coming. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hey,
Have a
Ray,
great
that was
week.
a great mashup, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was really.